What do you think about how the media covered Gamergate?
I think they did a piss poor job of it, if I'm going to be blunt.
Did you reach
I
out to?
think they
Good.
I think they stuck too far to one side of the narrative and didn't bother talking to other people that might have been involved on opposite sides. I think that, if they had been a little more willing to talk to people from our side, I think things could have gone better.
Did you reach out to any journalists or media outlets that wrote articles about Gamergate to help correct misinformation?
I made a few tweets. I made a video, just sharing a female's perspective. I'm like, look, I disagree, but yeah, aside from that, not really.
Did anybody from the
I just
media? Oh, God.
I just felt that, big media company wouldn't listen to me.
Did none of them reach out? No journalists reach out to talk to you about this?
Nope. If one had, I would have been more than happy to talk to him.
Me too. We were always willing to we talk to anybody. The only
Pretty
journalist
much.
that ever reached out to me, I think, was gosh, I forget his name. I think it was Jacob something, but I could be wrong. But he was a college reporter. He was writing for a college newspaper, and he reached out to me to talk about it. It's like,
Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that.
like you and I were both involved, like to a significant degree, and like I was a very public figure in it too. Like I was very. I mean, we
Oh yeah.
both had our real names out there. Our well, I had my real name.
I
You had your
mean,
first name, I guess, but
yeah. I mean, I don't really. And you got phone calls. I did get doxxed at one point,
I
and
did
my phone
too.
number got leaked. So I had to change my phone. I remember having to call because I was with Metro PCS at the time. I remember having to call them at like 1 o'clock in the morning just to change my phone number. We had to call some local pizza places just to be safe.
Wow. Actually, I had the same experience, and I talked about it openly for the first time like maybe like a week ago. Um,
I think the most I talked about it was the next time Nurgle did a stream. I'm like, hey, I got doxxed. And that was it. I laughed it off. I changed my phone number. You know,
yeah, we had to
like
get rid
that's
of
cute.
our home phone, and also the pizzas. They loved their pizzas, did they not? They
Hey, you know what? I'm like, hey, as long as you pay for it, I will accept it with open arms.
getting phone calls
As
at
long
like
as there's
3
no
a.m.
pineapple on it.
Yeah, if they
As long as
pay
there's no
for it, if they
pineapple on
pay for it, but they never pay for it.
it. Hey, it's like, hey, free pizza. Why not?
But no, I mean no, actually, it's kind of fucked up. Like we like I don't care if they pay for it or not. Like you shouldn't fuck with people like that.
Yeah,
It's not wrong.
all
It's
jokes
wrong.
aside, yeah, don't do that shit.
Do you think it was? Do you know who did it?
No. And honestly, I didn't care then, and I don't care now. It's something I can look back on and go, well, that happened. I will say that the positive that came from it, it made me a lot more diligent about internet security. So I
Yeah.
guess in a way, I kind of have to. If whoever doxed me is reading this, I guess thank you in a way because you're part of the reason I started researching internet security.
Why do you think that? I mean, these are major publications. Some major publications talked about GamerGate. Why do you think that they didn't reach out to people on the Pro GamerGate side at all to hear like their side of the story?
Like I said earlier, it broke their narrative.
But like, you think that that's the case not just for the games journalists, but for like the mainstream journalists too?
Oh yeah, I mean we had some of the main news organizations interviewing people like Anita and Brianna. It was clear that they had friends that were working in these like with NSNBC and whatnot. So to me that just proved how corrupt a lot of journalism overall is, not just gaming, but just in general.
If a journalist who got GamerGate wrong is reading this now, what do you want them to reconsider?
Uh, Maybe don't be so afraid of admitting that maybe you're wrong about something. You don't know what the experiences are of the people you might be demonizing. For people like me, I mentioned earlier I dealt with a lot of trauma as a kid. Video games were one way that I dealt with it. Even if it just was to get me away from all the screaming and yelling for a little bit. Because, like, for me, with games like, Legend of Zelda, getting a little personal here. At least in video games, if I helped someone, they actually showed gratitude. I wasn't yelled at or hit or whatever for trying to help. My efforts were recognized as a good thing. And so video games are part of the reason I was able to get through what I went through. That's why it's become such a vital part of me.
That's awesome. Actually, I remember during one of my favorite moments during GG. I have many good moments, of course, but like when
Oh yeah.
Captain Carbine, I think it was him. He started Operation Celebrate Gaming. I think he started it. Maybe he just promoted it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
could be way off here. But I know he was like an advocate of it, and so I made a video as a part of this, and I was just completely open. Which back then I wasn't as open as a, because it's like, dude, you can't talk about that stuff and be open. Like, but I think the Destiny approach of being open is like a lot better than like the just don't ever mention anything private whatsoever. So, but I really opened up,
Yeah.
and I was like talking about my history with gaming and how it's been a major part of my life and how it's helped me bond with friends and family, and like it was great,
Hmm.
And that video doesn't exist anymore because I deleted everything from back then. But
Yeah. Oh, I remember hearing something about that. Yeah. Like like I said, for me, video games are my way of dealing with a lot of horrible shit that happened to me as a kid that I never should, looking back as an adult, I never should have been through that. But just, whether it was helping people out, like in Legend of Zelda or some of the other random Sega Genesis games that I played, or maybe getting out some anger through Mortal Kombat 2, because I had a Sega Genesis and a Game Boy, or, some of the Power Rangers games. It sometimes it just helped me get my mind off of shit for a bit. Like, I was upset about whatever situation I was in. And I could just go and play like the Lion King game for Sega Genesis and just forget for a little bit.
have you seen the Wikipedia article, Gamergate?
Uh, Unfortunately, it's very biased.
Yeah, and everyone I talk to says that.
It's very well. I mean, the first thing you see is Gamergate and then harassment campaign. So from the very beginning, it doesn't paint a very accurate. It's not a very accurate portrayal.
Would you like to see the sorry? Would you like to see the narrative on Gamergate change?
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, I'm not holding my breath, but it would be nice if like 10, 20, preferably sooner. But let's be honest, like I said earlier, people are slow to change. Some people refuse to. Um, yeah, it would be nice.
Has your conscious experience as a human been made worse to any degree because of this negative narrative about Gamergate, about the people you know, and that they're
Kind of.
harassers and
Um,
misogynists, supposedly?
it it upsets me to hear people that I've come to care so much about be dehumanized in such a way. It's made me a bit more cynical towards big media organizations. I think in a way, and this could be seen as a positive too, it's made me a little bit more cautious.